Morning, everybody. One Penny here, and I am at the Pinhoti Outdoor Center and trying to do an interview, although I don't know how to do one, with Shirpa.
Hi.
Who
I don't even know. Do you have? Is the camera pointing to me right now?
Yeah,
Hi, everyone.
it's all you.
This is a deposition.
This is. It's a. Yeah, I can't see anything.
You look good. You look fine.
Thank you.
No, we met 4 days ago
4 days ago, yeah.
when you popped in, and we hiked a section together, 6 miles, so part of a section.
Yeah.
That was my very short day, and we started off. She was dropped off a mile and a half, maybe, in front of me, to start where she had left off once before.
Yeah.
And the first great thing that happened was I'm walking, I'm climbing this slope, and up ahead of me I hear someone call out, "One Penny!"
He's telling all of my failures and secrets to the YouTube community. Sure enough, I insisted he was going the wrong way. And I'm like, I think you need to check your app. I think you're going the wrong direction. I was going the wrong direction. And it's because of yeah. So Monk had dropped me off where I had stopped last time. I knew that I had to cross the road whenever I picked up. And so when he dropped me off, I crossed the road and I started. And the trail looked a little different because they had a lot of blowdowns, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember any of this, so I know I'm going the right way. And then I see him, and I'm like, you know, we met at this little Forest Service road, and I'm like, I think you need to check your app. I really think and I was so insistent. Like, you know, setting myself up for a humbling. And we both have the apps out, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going the wrong way. So I added about a half a mile to my journey, right? And look, it was because it was cross the road, right, and it was up a hill, and I'm like, well, this is one way to start. And that was already a long day. That was supposed to be a 14-mile day for me, so it ended up being about 14 and a half. But yeah, thank God he's such a fast hiker, because if you would have been slow, I would have just
You would have gone all the way to Inner Woods.
Yeah, we would have eventually run into each other just because we were going in opposite directions, but I would have walked so much further than I would have intended and put myself in this really tough spot. So, but you know, I definitely just chalk it up to, you know, and I'll say it again, on my own video. I was actually, every morning I start off my hike praying to God and asking for his protection and his provision over my hikes. I was actively praying in that moment when I saw him. And it was just like, man, how quickly the Lord works and shows up to let me know that, don't worry, Sheila, I've got all of your mistakes, right? And I'm gonna make a way. And it ended up being like a really beautiful moment. And then we ended up hiking One Penny's whole entire day together until he got picked up, and then I continued on to my campsite. So yeah,
We had such fun. So we laughed about that a lot. But then the hike was a beautiful section of hiking. It
gorgeous.
was nice.
Yeah,
We had a really good time.
it was.
So,
it was nice to have someone to talk to.
So I just want to point out to everybody that what she was actually saying there was that I am the answer. I'm God's answer to a prayer. And I think that everybody who knows me needs to remember that point. Now, it may not be an answer. I may not be an answer to your prayer, but I think that's a pretty good thing.
And I told him that too, and he laughed at me when I told him that. And I said, well, you know, the Lord can use all people, you know, for his good. So even the one pennies in the world can be used in a special way, because he certainly was my little guardian angel that day on trail. So
It's going to be one of my best memories of this whole thing.
look, oh God,
You're going the wrong way.
That's what I told him. I said we should do like trail names, different trail names where he's like, I don't know, a little guardian angel, and I'm wrong, one way or wrong way or something. And I was like, God, I can't believe I did that straight out the gate. And I don't know, it definitely, when you do something like that. And I was already coming back with this idea of the last section I did, I had kind of failed because I had the blisters and I had to get off a day early. So my confidence was already a little down. And then to start off with this kind of a mistake, it was like, it hit my confidence a little bit. And it was like, oh man, come on, you've got to be a little bit better than that.
So yesterday was a confidence builder, obviously. So she was out camping for a couple of nights more.
Yeah.
And then we started yesterday morning. You were a couple miles ahead of me at least. And I
only a
started
few.
at Porter's. And she kept saying, oh, you're so fast, you're going to catch up with me. And that lasted for
almost all day.
13 and a half miles before I finally caught up with her at the stream.
But if it wouldn't have been for the section from hell, that the like almost 2 miles of just absolute rocks.
It was more than 2 miles.
Like 5 miles probably.
He would have caught me. It slowed. I kept.
Why do you think it would slow you down and not me? I hated that section too.
Just because. But we had cell phone service most of the day, so every once in a while we would give the time we were giving the update and the mileage we were at. And so I had this running track on our thread of
Getting a little closer.
how far I was going and how much time, and I just felt like I was stuck in the rocks forever.
They last forever. Just a huge, long, horrible. It was the most horrible section of the trail so far, of the 500 or 600 miles I've done from Key West.
I mean, we can laugh at it now, but
unless we run into another section like that, we'll be cursing.
Well, I'm off today. I'm off now, so it's like. But that I had never experienced anything like that. So, but if it wouldn't have been for that, you'd have caught me pretty easy, because I mean, after we got through it, you were just on my heels. But we ended up meeting at the stream, so it was a really dry section, 8.8 miles of just of no water.
Yeah, it was a very thirsty day.
The one cache that was supposed to be at Claremont was completely dry. And so you just had to push through until you get to this stream almost right at the end. And that's where he finally caught me.
Mile and a half to go.
Yeah, mile and a half to go, and that's where he caught me. So, but yeah, we were just, communicating tit for tat all day. But
okay, very quick.
Yeah.
How did you get your trail name?
Okay. So I actually was given my trail name Shirpa by a friend of mine that I had met while I was out backpacking on Cumberland Island. And we hit it off. Wonderful woman of faith. And so we kept in touch. And then the following summer, when I wanted to do a section of the Appalachian Trail from Amicola to Neal Gap, I threw it out there to her, like, hey, would you want to come and do either a day or something with me? And she told me that she would love to. She had never done a backpacking trip before. And so I took her on her very first backpacking trip. And it was a little bit of, it was rough. It was a little bit of a learning curve. And so I actually helped her out a lot. And we were doing one particular thing. And she told me, she was thanking me and said that she really appreciated me being there, because it was kind of almost like she had her own personal Shirpa. And so that's when she gave me the name of Shirpa, and I accepted it. So I've been Shirpa ever since.
And now the tie-in to the program?
Oh, yeah. So, certain things just hit you differently, and you just know that it's right. At the time, now, she didn't know that I was also volunteering my time with an organization called Luke 5 Adventures. And they have different chapters in different states. And their whole entire goal is to make the impossible possible for people who have disabilities or the inability to get out in nature. So we have a specialized chair called a Rosie chair. And this device allows us to take a hiker with disabilities and bring them out on trail and give them that experience. And the people, the volunteers that are kind of the motor and the support for this chair are actually called Shirpas. And so I Shirpa with that organization. And so she didn't know that at the time. So when she suggested it, it just hit on a much deeper level for me. And I knew that that was right. So that was a really special thing. And in fact, Luke 5 Adventures, they're taking a hiker down into the Grand Canyon. I think this is their second time taking a hiker all the way down. It's a massive, massive effort from 2 different organizations that are kind of close to each other. I think the Cincinnati chapter and the Arizona chapter do this in combination with each other, and they take someone down, all the support, all the equipment, everything that's needed. And they're on Facebook. I think they have a YouTube as well, so it's good stuff.
All right, we've been. I think from an hour or two when we were talking about how we need to interview each other for our respective pages. So
Yeah.
what's your YouTube channel?
Oh, you're better at this than what you think, because I forget about all this stuff. So I actually do have a YouTube channel. It's not professional. It's 100% amateur, and it's Shirpa Hikes. And hopefully you'll see, if you do go look for it, you'll see like some of the Pinhoti stuff. And so I do this completely recreational, so I'm not a consistent poster, but whenever I do go out on hikes, I try to at least get my videos out once a week. And then there could be a little gap there, so I don't do it for a living. I do it for fun, but would love to have you follow the journey. You'll see One Penny. He's going to pop up in some of these videos, So.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll end that one there, and that'll probably be my video for today, since this is a 0 day for me to replan. See y'all later.
Bye.